Welcome in, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to our team meeting. We're going to have everybody mute themselves. Let me come up here and make sure that we are set up correctly. Okay, perfect. All right, guys. So come on in. Again, if you do not see your fellow business partner, please share the link with them. They're not going to want to miss tonight's training. We're going to be teaching how to really put together a buyer's presentation and help elevate our sales, okay? And our team lead tonight is going to be Miss Angelique Hibbert. So guys, if you can, please share the link out. We're going to give it about 30 seconds. I appreciate you guys' time. We only have 19 on this call, and you know that our organization is a really big organization. So guys, share the link out. Let's give it about 30 more seconds. And Miss Angelique, if you are on, let me know so I can help spotlight you and really get this meeting started.
Good day, I'm here, ready to go.
Ready to go. Okay, perfect. Let me spotlight.
Hey, Rob.
Perfect. All right, guys. Happy Wednesday. So tonight is a special presentation. I always say it, I love when Angelique comes on and leads our organization to greatness. Tonight, she's going to be going over the buyer's presentation thoroughly so that we can really escalate the whole process and boost our sales. So guys, if you guys can get a pen and paper because you're not going to want to miss tonight's presentation. And Angelique, the floor is yours. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Excuse me one moment. I'm back. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Truly appreciate it. I'm not sure if Jeff Corlon is on tonight, but I want to thank him for a great presentation last week that is affecting everyone in real estate. So thank you. That's what led us to doing the buyer's presentation today, which we have done on several occasions. So we'll go ahead and Crystal, it's okay to go ahead and share screens and get started?
Absolutely. I'm going to have you as the co-host and you are able to start. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Well, tonight we're going to share quite a few things. I actually went into and did the presentation for EXP, so you know how to do a buyer's presentation. So we'll have, that's a nice treat for you. I'll make sure that they'll send that out for you as well. Please feel free to ask questions as we go along, and let me get started. So I like to think about the whole buying process as see it, like it, buy it. Not see it, love it, buy it. See it, like it, buy it. Because sometimes you like it and then you want to trade it in. You know what I mean? So see it, like it, buy it. Things you love, you don't really trade in. And real estate is all about transacting. So I'm going to move on to the next screen here. So, well, before I get there, here's my question. What is the very first thing that you need to have when you're working with the buyer? What do you need to know? Can anybody tell me? What do you need to know? Crystal, are they on mute?
They're able to unmute. They're able to unmute.
Motivation.
Motivation. Okay, that's a good one. What else do you think you need when you speak to a buyer and they've come to you and you are a realtor running your business and they want to buy? What is it that they need to have in order to buy?
Pre-approval. A pre-approval.
There we go. We need some money. There we go. So let's move on to the next screen. Thank you. So mastering the buyer's consultation. There are a couple of ways that people can come with their money. Financing. You want to first and foremost make sure that your buyer has been pre-approved, okay? You just don't take the pre-approval for granted either. We're going to get into that. Hard money. What do you do if they tell you, listen, hey, it's cash? They always say cash. Well, hard money and cash are similar, but there are some requirements that hard money lenders will require. So you want to call the hard money lender to verify requirements, okay? Cash, you want to verify the dates on the bank statement or verify the bank letter by calling the bank. We had one the other day, they sent it in, and they're giving us a bank statement with $4 million May 2023. Well, we're in October. How does that work, right? So we have to pay attention. So here's my next question, and anyone can answer this. Financing, when you want to make sure that you have a pre-approval, now you've got the pre-approval, what is the next thing you're going to do? Anyone? All right, well, we'll move right along and I'll let you know. The very next thing you need to do is contact the lender and introduce yourself. Super, super duper important. Now, here's a list of questions that I like to ask the lender because first and foremost, if you know anything about this business, the one thing you absolutely know is forging relationships is everything.
Right there.
Absolutely everything. So ask the lender questions. How high, first you want to introduce yourself, of course, and let the lender know, hi, I'm Angelique Hibbert, and Sheila Brown is purchasing a house, and she gave me a pre-approval letter, John, and so I'm just calling to follow up with you to let you know she selected me to do a consultation with her, but before I said that, I wanted to have a conversation with you. John's like, oh, okay, now let me ask a question. There are many reasons to call the lender. Does anybody know? Now, I know what I have on the screen, but what other reasons are we calling the lender for? We want to verify some information.
To make sure that that pre-approval is good, so you ask for a DU?
Okay, not necessarily, but that's a good one too. That's a good one. Keep in mind, DUs are you can ask for a DU, but DUs have a lot of information that really doesn't need to be provided to the other side. In most cases, I know people ask for it, but DUs aren't really, and remember, DUs, you can make a DU look like anything you choose to. DUs, keep in mind that those can be created and they can, you can do a lot of things with DUs instead. You can make them look great. But that was good. Anybody else? Why else would you be calling the lender? Okay, well, I'm going to tell you, because sometimes you call the lender and I'll introduce myself and I'll say, oh yeah, Sheila Brown, my customer. And they'll say, well, oh, I thought Sheila was working with Kathy. I'm like, Kathy? No. She called me today. I'm talking to her, right? So that's another reason why you want to call the lender, because you want to make sure that this person is not working with 4 and 5 realtors. Now, I trust and believe it certainly does happen. The other reason why you're calling the lender to see if the lender even remembers who Sheila Brown is. I have called lenders before and they have no idea who their buyers are because they're all over the place. No disrespect to the lenders, but sometimes they do get a little busy and or they have so many different people working with them, they don't know who they are working with. But the main reason you're calling is to ensure that the pre-approval is going to work for the buyer and it's going to work for you as you're building a relationship. So you want to ask questions after you introduce yourself, the small talk and that sort of thing is, hey, John, how high can Sheila go in taxes, HOA and insurance? How high can she really go, right? Can the buyer cover the down payment and closing costs? Why are you asking that? That's highly important because what if you have to ask for some assistance from the seller, right? You need to know, I might need some closing costs, right? So that you need to know. Ask the lender, are they certified for down payment assistance? Who knows what could happen through the transaction and or if the buyer may need down payment assistance, are they qualified? Some lenders have to be qualified to actually do down payment assistance programs, okay? They need to be on a particular list in most cases. Some cases not. I think there's a question there or something in the chat there, Crystal. See if I can see it. Oh, somebody's saying hello.
Hands up. That's it.
All right.
Hi. That was me. I just was thanking you for this information. I would have needed this like a couple months ago.
Yeah, no worries. Well, I'm glad you're here. All right, no worries. So can the buyer qualify for FHA and conventional financing? If so, at what purchase amount? Why is this important? It's important to know where your buyer really is, because what if they could qualify for both? Then guess what you can do in the contract? You can check FHA and conventional financing. Doesn't that work? Of course it works. Were you able to collect the supporting documents? Were they verified via phone? Now, you have to be very soft with this last question. You can't really be calling the lender and saying, hey, you collected the documents, because I don't know, sometimes lenders don't really collect the documents. They do this via phone and take the information and get another pre-approval. No, you want to be like, hey, John, I got to tell you, the last couple of deals I've had, the lender didn't even collect the documents. They verified it over the phone. And I'm sure you have, but I just have to cross-reference and make sure that everything is going, because I'm going to have this person under contract sooner than later, right? Any questions thus far? All right, we're going to move on to the next page. So contacting the lender and introducing yourself carries on a little bit more. So you have a few more questions that you want to ask. By any chance, are you aware if the buyer has any student loans? Super duper important, because this is going to cause issues with the debt to ratio. Ask the lender, is it okay to add them to the email when submitting an offer? I will tell you, I've had 4 deals that when the lender had called, our offer was accepted because our lender called. Once the offer has been submitted, ask the lender to call the listing realtor to say, hello, listing realtor. I see that John Smith has submitted an offer on your listing. I am his lender, David, and Angelique is my buyer's realtor. I wanted to confirm the closing, loan approval, and application date. They do that. Let me know if you need anything else. Very, very important. Now that's showing that you're going above and beyond. You have created a team. Your lender is involved, already calling the listing realtor, giving them information, basic information, making them feel comfortable. And you're looking like the professional that you are, because you've now got a team. You're ready to go, right? So the next thing is that ask the lender for their mailing address and send them a handwritten note card to say thank you. Why are you doing that? Does anybody know? Anybody?
So that you can build a relationship.
There you go, building relationships. This business is nothing. It's all about building relationships. Now, once you're satisfied with everything, now you're going to go back and contact the buyer to schedule their buyer's consultation. Keep in mind, I did not schedule the consultation because of the pre-approval. I am going to verify the information that was given, because I am running a business. I'm a business owner, right? Running a business, and my time is extraordinarily important. All right, moving on. So starting the buyer's presentation, you want to welcome the buyer to the conference room or Zoom call. You can have a welcome sign with their name on it, or if it's a Zoom, you can actually make your Zoom backdrop with their name on it. Get real creative. They'll be like, oh my God, look, she's got my name back there. Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, that's cool, right? Offer some water, tea, and coffee if, for in-person meetings. And even if it's not in person, you can have 2 bottles of water and say, if you were here, this is what I would have for you, right? Make them feel very, very comfortable. Introduce yourself with your title and show them your real estate license. Can anybody on here tell me why you're showing your real estate license? Anybody? No one knows why you would show your real estate license?
I'm a new real estate agent, but I can only assume to just make sure the client is comfortable, so that they know that you are serious about your business and you are a professional and you want them to feel comfortable working with you.
Look at you. And you said that you're a new realtor. Look at that. Exactly. You're building trust. And here's the other reason that nobody ever knows, and it's the simplest reason, because nobody else is doing it. There you go. Nobody else is doing it. Who else shows their license? Who even has their license in their wallet? We have over 61,000 agents between Miami-Dade and Broward County for those of you who are in South Florida. I can guarantee you less than a 0.0% carry their real estate license in their actual wallet. Those are things that make you look different and make you a professional. Review the buyer's presentation booklet with them. Now you're going to do a nice presentation, which I'm going to show you later on. For those of you who are with EXP, I'm going to show you the layout and also send you the step-by-steps so you can create your own buyer's presentation. Very simple, very professional. You don't have to go over the entire presentation. You want to point out certain things. And also you want to show them that first page. You know, this is not a presentation that you do for just anybody. It has Sheila Brown's name on the front. Okay, so you want to specify certain little things to make them feel comfortable. Note, you should include a copy of the contract to review later, and optional basic code of ethics. Now people are like, why are you putting the code of ethics in there? Because you go ahead. Is there someone talking there? Okay, maybe somebody just had their mute, you were unmuted. So it's optional to put the code of ethics, but the code of ethics really tells you exactly what a realtor does. And the other reason why you do it, because what? Nobody else is doing it. So start your conversation, ask questions, and you want to start bringing a whole comfort, okay? Why have you decided to buy now? All right, you never want to sound eager. Anytime that you make someone feel like you just got to get them into this house or you just got to list their house, you feel like you're being sold to. So you're creating pressure and anxiety that you really don't need to. So why have you decided to buy now, Sheila? Well, let me tell you, we're just in a large home. We want to downsize or we want to move, whatever the situation is. They're going to tell you a story. What is very, very important is that you have a book in front of you. Do not use your cell phones. Do not use your computer because it doesn't look personal. Get a notebook. And I don't know if you guys can see me here, but I have a little notebook here. And I would get my notebook out and I would start writing down the answers to the questions in my book. Very important, and I'll tell you why when we get further down. When would you like to move by? Does anybody know why we're asking that question? When would you like to move by?
You figure out their motivation, and you also figure out what they feel their obstacles are with that type of question.
Okay, that's very, very good. So one reason why I asked this is when would you like to move by? Because I need to know if Sheila Brown wants to move in 60 days. See, I know my market trend. And Sheila might say, well, listen, honey, my lease is up and I need to move in 45 days. The reality is that I got to write this stuff down because remember, the buyer's consultation isn't for you to say that Sheila is going to be your buyer. You are now figuring out if this customer is worth your time and can you actually have a business relationship with this potential buyer, right? So if Sheila says she needs to move in 45 days, what's the reality, everyone? 45 days and we haven't even looked at a house yet. We're not under contract. Is this really going to work?
Yeah, yeah.
So you really have to write this down. Now she might say, well, I really, over the next 90 days, and you know what your market trends are. So wherever you are, you know your market trends. So this is very, very important. Is it just you or you and your family? Now you're asking this because you kind of got to figure out how many bedrooms she may want. Does she have a husband? Does she have a significant other? She has kids and so forth, right? So that's going to help you understand the size of the home that she may need. And then the next question, are there any other decision makers? Someone please answer this question. Why is this question super important? Anyone?
Because I ain't got time to show the property 3 or 4 times.
Exactly. And not only you don't have time, you know your market trend. So if you know that you're going to show it on Monday and then her significant other is not going to be there. Why am I showing that property to just her when you know there's more than one decision maker? So we're going to see it on Monday, and then we're going to try to go see it again on Thursday. What's most likely going to happen in this market, someone? The property is gone. It's gone. Right. And remember, we're business owners. We are business owners. Yes, we have a brokerage, but we are our own business owners. We have to start using our time wisely. All right, let's move right along. All right. So now you want to get into the details. You see how we have the booklet out here? You're writing down your things. It's really, really important and all this jazz. So you want to make this fun. You want to ask about the area of choice. You know, they're going to go for the best area that they know, creating the excitement. In your mind, you already know where the person is going to be, but let them live a little bit, right? So when you ask them about their criteria, you know, do you want a pool? How many bedrooms? How many bathrooms? And you're writing this stuff down and you're reviewing the criteria with them from your notes that you're writing down. Ask them, is there anything else, Sheila, that you would like to add? You know what, girl, I really would love to have a pool. Write the pool down. Just keep writing. You're writing all this information down, okay? Ask them, what would they like their monthly payment to be? Well, you know, well, I wanted to live out of Pembroke Pines on the west side, and I do want the 4-bedroom, 3 bathrooms, maybe 2.5, 2-car garage with the pool, but I really don't want my payment to be more than $3,200 a month. So already you writing this down, and in your head, don't make that face like she is losing her mind. You'd be like, all right, just keep writing it down. All right. Any questions thus far? All right, I hope this information is valuable to everyone, because as your time is very, very valuable. All right, so here's the big part. So now you want to start the search. You want to open up your TV screen if you're in your office, your computer. You want to start this search. This makes things look very, very grand, okay? If somebody could mute, I think there is someone there. Okay, so this is the part that I love, because see, you never ever want somebody to tell you you can't afford. I don't want anybody telling me I can't afford anything, okay? I don't want to hear that. So at the end of the day, Sheila doesn't want to hear it either. So what you want to do is you want the market to tell her what she can afford or can't afford. So what you do is you open your TV screen or your computer, you start this search. This makes things look grand. You select by area, some people select by area in different places, area number, or you draw out a circumference in the MLS, or you go to that particular subdivision, wherever she chooses to be. And what you do is you put it in there, right? And you draw it out. And when you draw it out, or however you get the number, guess what? Man, you're writing it down. This is good. 62 properties. Sheila sees 62 properties pop up, right? And do it just like this. It's important because we're telling a story. Now we don't have to tell Sheila that she can't afford it or whatever the result may be, right? Now you're going to enter the bedrooms. What you think happened when you enter those 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms that Sheila's looking at, right? You're probably going to drop down to, let's just say you drop down to 51 properties. So 61 has dropped down to now 51 properties. Okay, so she's seeing a little decrease there. All right. You enter the bedrooms and you point out the count. Okay, we're at 51 now, Sheila. Okay, are there any additional items? You know, you had the pool. She wanted the pool. And so you put in the pool. So that 51 now just dropped down to what, guys? Yeah, that dropped us right down to about 13 properties. So we're down to 13 properties now. So she's seeing in the area that a lot of these houses don't have pools that are on the market. So we're down to 13, right? And so we keep going, right? So we enter the financing. Yes, all right. Sheila can go conventional financing. So we're going to put in conventional financing. All right, that drops us down to about 11 houses. If it was FHA, guys, it'll probably drop us down to about 5. And then now we're looking, and then guess what we're going to enter, guys? We're going to enter the purchase price. So mind you, we started at 62 and now we're at 11. We're going to put in the purchase price, and that purchase price is $475,000. Oh my goodness. Oh, what has happened? Okay, we are down to, let's see. Oh, Sheila, we're down to 2 properties. Okay, so you point out that and you say, okay, provide and find, okay, so there are 2 properties there. So what Sheila is now seeing is that we started out at 62 properties in that area. But as we kept putting in what she wanted, there are really only 2 properties right now on the market for her in her criteria, right? So you want to provide, you find a property that fits the buyer's criteria, you want to use some additional tips. Excuse me. Is this sounding like something that would work for everybody? You could just drop a 1 in the chat if you like, so we know that this is something that will work. You're telling a story without telling the person that they can't afford it. Now, here are some things that I like to use to kind of fine tune everything. And I'm going to give you a couple more tips that I normally don't even give out, but I'm going to give them today. Use the property home buyer's tax estimator. This is super important. This is not your responsibility, but because you're a professional at what you do, you always do one thing more than the average person. Here's the thing. Remember, when you spoke to the lender told you that you really couldn't go more than $5,000 in taxes. And let's say the lender said no more than $300 in HOA, right? So now you know you got $5,300 to play with, whether it's the taxes or the HOA. So the HOA could be $1,000, but then that means the taxes have to be $4,000. But you can't go over the $5,300 total, right? So you're going to look at those things, and when you go on the in the MLS, wherever you are, and you see the taxes, if the property price is good, but the taxes are too high and the HOA is too high, we don't need to see that property. It's not going to work because the lender already gave you the outline, right? But let's just say that the taxes and the HOA does work, right? That's good. But what you want to do is say, hey, Sheila, now I'd love to show you this house. Now, I do want you to know that the estimated taxes that are on here now belong to Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, who own the property, okay? And it just happens to be they're very low because they have a lot of exemptions, right? For their taxes. You know, they've been in the property for 25 years. They have their homestead, you know, they have a senior citizen discount. They have portability from the other property that they moved from. So they've got all these discounts. But I want you to know that the taxes for the following year are going to be higher, okay? So that's another thing to kind of let her know. And well, how much higher could it be? There's a tax estimator. You can put it in there and you can see what the taxes on that property will be for the following year. And you can say, Sheila, you can buy this house today. This will work for you. But I need you to know the taxes are estimated to go up about $300 more a month. Is that something you're willing to work with? So this is also helping you fine tune. You getting in your car, driving down the street, you'll sell the property to Sheila because it works for her right now. But next year, when Sheila gets that tax bill down there about in November, and the mortgage company is telling her that her taxes are short, her escrow account is short, and it's close to Christmas time, and they calling in November that she's short $2,500, and then on top of that, want to take more money for escrow 2 or 3 months to build up her escrow account again. Sheila's not going to be happy. Who you think Sheila's going to call? Sheila's going to end up calling the realtor. Now, should she be calling the realtor? Probably not, but you are the last person that she has worked with. So she's going to be like, oh my God, Angelique, my taxes just went up. Something went up. My mortgage is going up, because sometimes buyers don't understand the breakdown of the escrow. My buyers understand the breakdown of the escrow because I tell them about the tax estimator. I let them know ahead of time. So this is something that you can use as well. You also want to talk about and discuss the distance from home to work. You also want to talk about the resale. And you also want to state that you're not just buying a home, you're buying an investment. I never really sit and talk to people and tell them that you're buying a home, you're buying your house, you're buying your dream home, you're buying an investment. Why do I use the word investment? Does anybody know? Anybody can write it in the chat. Why would you use the word investment? It sounds like good money. Anytime somebody says something about investment, it sounds like money. And that's what you're doing, because if Sheila, you buy this house right now, and especially she's buying a house that has equity, or equity will grow in the house. If you look at the history of real estate for over the last, I don't know, since the 40s till now, which I do study so I can understand the markets very, very well. Listen, real estate really doesn't lose. So at the end of the day, this is an investment, because now if Sheila wants to open a business, she can get a line of credit to open up a business, and she's taking it from her what? Her investment. Sheila doesn't have to call somebody, I need to borrow some money. No, you can borrow it from your what? Your investment. I hope these tips are helping you. Now, there's something else that I do that I find that works very, very well. I don't know, I think Hibbert-Smith may be on here, but he's a part of the AH group. And what we do is, before we take anybody out to see a property, we actually forge a relationship with the lender. We're going to take you to see these 3 properties. I need the lender to give me a breakdown on these 3 properties to ensure that the mortgage on these properties are going to meet Sheila's criteria. Yes, Sheila can get a $5,000 mortgage, but she was very, very clear when I was writing it down. Angelique, I don't want to spend more than $4,200. I know I'm approved for $5,000. I know I can get a $5,000 mortgage for $4,200. So what I'm going to do is ensure that John, the lender, now does the breakdown for me. So I can say, Sheila, these 2 are going to work, but this 3rd one here that you like is at $4,700. Do you want to see, do you want to do the $4,700? You know what? Let me see these 2 properties right here, right? So what is that doing? That's downsizing and saving you time and showing your customer quality investments for their real estate endeavors. All right. Any questions thus far? I hope this information is good to you. Okay. So now here's a question, and this is why I'm doing this evening. We talked about last week about the buyer's agreement, you know, all this thing going on with the commissions and so forth. Guys, we've got to ask for the business, and we have to qualify our money, period, because we're running a business, right? So the questions, pardon me. After the buyer's consultation, ask the potential buyer, am I qualified to be your realtor? Now, mind you, you can use the words you choose to use. Sheila, am I qualified to be your realtor? Did you enjoy this information? Did you get something out of this? And you ask the question, am I qualified to be your realtor? Because remember, she's not your buyer until you both have a partnership, right? Because you're running a business, because you are a professional. So if the answer is yes, what should you do next? You say, thank you for selecting me as your realtor, Sheila. I am just so excited. I'm excited to be going on this home buying investment journey with you. And to close out this consultation, here is the buyer's agreement for us to sign. We can review it. Now, you never say for you to sign, for us. Listen, if you want to pop champagne at that time, you can, whatever this is. But what you're doing now is creating a partnership with your buyer. I am now going to be your realtor for the next 6 months, for the next whatever time frame you have on there. And you review the information with them. So it's very clear on there. You work for a certain amount of money. You work for 3%. Whatever your 2%, 4%, whatever your percentage is, you put it on there. Because what happens when Sheila finds this house that has a 2.5%, but you work minimum at 3%, right? You need that other 0.5%. Is Sheila going to be willing to pay that extra 0.5%? You have to see where your buyer is. Now, I know some people here be like, wait, I'm just trying to get the deal. If I can get the 2.5, I'll take it. That is up to you on how you decide to run your business. I will tell you, I had a buyer's agreement. The young lady, we went to this house. We saw the house. I was very clear. Now, she did sign the buyer's agreement, and they were giving 1%. Who is working for 1% on here? Anybody? Anybody working for 1%? I think somebody needs to mute. So I said to her, and I said, hey, Sheila, this one here is 1%. So there's a difference of a 2% according to our agreement. Would you like to facilitate that on this particular property? Her answer was no, we can find something else. Because I explained to her that I could not work for 1% and take on the responsibility because I wouldn't be making any money, right? Now, you're not going to say it in that kind of tone, but you let them know that your value, you have a value as a professional in your business. And we have brought them with all this information. We're taking them to the right houses. We're showing them what the estimated taxes are going to be. We're getting the breakdown of what the mortgage is going to be ahead of time. I mean, we are knocking this thing out of the box. And we're making sure that we make the appointments, we show on time, we got the lights on before they get there. We're working, right? So you deserve what you asked for. And it's important that you have that conversation. So you go ahead and you ask her about the agreement for us to sign. And you sign it together. You make it a commitment. And you can review the contract that we discussed earlier. Because the one thing you don't want to do is not review your contract before you go out. Because what if you go out and you find a property? Now you have to sit and spend an hour talking to Sheila about the contract. What you want to do is review the contract before that time. So when you go out, you have your things ready and it will be easy for that person, your buyer, to sign. Because now you're not going back in an office or on a Zoom trying to figure out, okay, line 32. And mind you, we are not attorneys, nor do we pretend to be. So we cannot go over the entire contract. We can only go over the slots that are open. So you always want to give them time to read over the contract ahead of time because you're a professional. So if they had any questions and they needed to seek advice from an attorney, you as a professional have given them that contract ahead of time for them to read and get any additional questions answered that they may need answered. Moving on. So send a thank you card to your buyer and send an email with the review of the buyer's consultation. Remember all the things that Sheila said she wanted, and you write that out and you let her know, thank you for coming, and then you send her this email. So at the end of the day, when you get to the closing table, you can say, hey, Sheila, remember that email when you came in for the buyer's consult and all the things you wanted? 99.9% of the time, everything that a buyer wants, they never buy. They don't buy it. I do it a lot with my buyers and I show them. You said you wanted this, you said you wanted that, you said you wanted this. It had to be 2,000 square feet and it had to be this. And it's a nice way to say, look, you've done your job without bragging, right? By far. And it's nice for them to say, oh my God, you are so right. I can't believe this. What do you, yeah, I did, but I can't, this is what, and now you're starting a whole nother conversation for them to go and tell everybody about you and become a spare for you of influence. That way you get more customers for them. And then you create a buyer search and you get the home buying investment process started. Now, what happens to the future potential buyer? What do you do if it isn't the right time for the buyer? You know, Sheila wanted the house, she wanted to move in within 45 days. You know, the market trend is in 45 days. It's not going to work. Or maybe what she wants is not going to work for the amount of money and she's just not really budging. So you want to kind of review everything with Sheila and you want to review the potential buyer, the market trend. So you need to know your market trend. Well, Sheila, here's the market trend and you know, versus your current buying power and or your buying time frame. You have to know what's going on in your market. So she's now aware that she wants to buy, what she really wants is a $400,000 house, okay? But she's really approved for $350,000. So that's not going to work. Or maybe she's trying to move in 45 days and you well know that there's no way for her to close in 45 days just going through financing alone. So you want to gently show them how the market and their criteria don't meet at the moment. Give them options for future possibilities, providing the market or their criteria may change. You also want to send them a note card to your potential buyer and send them an email with a review of the buyer's consultation. You also want to continue to follow up monthly or every 5 to 6 weeks. You want to touch base. And here are some additional tips. Schedule the lender and a title company to do a 1-minute overview during your buyer's consultation. While reviewing the contract, discuss the inspection, the appraisal, and the homeowners association. What's important about having the lender on is that you're letting Sheila know that I've already forged a relationship with the lender. I already have a title company that you may want to use. I know I need to give you 3 title companies because we cannot steer the customer, but I wanted you to get a little information about how a title company works in a quick overview. So I'm open for questions now before I get to the next slide. If anybody has any questions, let's see, how do I escape here?
Hi, Ms. Hibbert.
Yes, one moment. Let me
Sure.
stop sharing screens, and I'm going to bring up another presentation, but I'm gonna, let's see, stop sharing. I'm back.
Yes, Ms. Hibbert, I have a quick question. Regarding the relationships with your lenders, which I have done, what are some of the questions that are sensitive and some questions that we should not ask? Because there's certain questions I shied away from that because I didn't think I could ask. But this presentation really opened up my eyes. I'm like, oh my goodness, I didn't know I could ask that.
Well,
so what are the things that I shouldn't ask?
Well, you don't want to ask personal information, how much money the person has. Someone mentioned something about a DU. I'm not a fan of DUs because DUs can be skewed at any time. It gives too much information. DUs have—
You're talking about desktop underwriter?
Desktop underwriting, that is correct.
Okay.
It well, what is their credit score? You will probably need to have that information if there's a particular association that the person is going to live in, and you know that the credit score for the association is 700, or if it's 680, you're going to need to know that information. But what you want to do is have the relationship with the actual buyer and ask if it's okay that I ask these specific questions to your lender. You want to make sure that you have authorization for specific questions regarding, how much money they have in down payment and their credit score. So you can ask what you want as long as you have confirmation to do so. You just don't want to run off and asking questions. You're like, well, you asked my lender that question, or you asked my lender this question, and so forth. So when you get the pre-approval, you are asking the question, can I call your lender? And at that point, you can also ask them, is it okay that I ask these specific questions?
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay,
that helped.
you're fine. All right. Any other questions? Okay, for those of you who are with EXP and everyone, I went ahead and I did let me share screens again. Take that down. And we have presentations at EXP that you can create on your own. They're super easy to do. I have streamlined this because it was, step by step, and this is also step by step, but now I've done, we've got a hand raised. Ray Cole Jackson is ready. Attorney Ray Cole Jackson is on with us.
Listen, I'm sorry I'm late, everybody. I just popped in and I heard the conversation you were having about communicating with the lender about the borrower's loan status. And definitely you want to, and I apologize for someone's having like a party in their car next to me. You definitely want to professionally and ask and do ask your client for permission to speak directly and candidly with these lenders about these pre-approvals. I can tell you guys, I had to raise my hand on this. Right now, you guys see what's going on with the interest rates. That is your reputation. That is your paycheck on the line. I am literally seeing deals die at the closing table. I'm seeing files go from 2 borrowers, now we have 5, to the original 2 are off and we're adding another 2. They're doing surgery on the deals the day of closing. I definitely, I encourage you to become very knowledgeable about the lending process. You don't have to be a LO, but you should be able to intelligently ask questions to confirm that the loan officers has really done the extent of the due diligence that they can do in preparation for your buyers going under contract, and they haven't just fired off a template pre-approval. It is the most devastating situation for both the borrower's agent and the listing agent. I'm literally seeing deal after deal. I have a couple files. This is her 3rd contract on this listing. Lenders are not responding. It's 3 days before closing. You can't get a hold of them because they probably never really underwrote that loan properly. So again, definitely you want to get the authorization of your buyers to speak candidly with the loan officers. But once you get that, you definitely want to be very direct. And Angelique, I remember you mentioned on some trainings before, and again, I don't know if you've already mentioned it on this. I apologize, I'm late. Did you grab their did you grab their pay stubs, their tax prior year's taxes? Did you really get their bank statements? Have you looked at their assets? Do they have enough for cash to close? Is their credit score? Is their credit score sufficient? Don't be surprised. LOs will give a loan approval with a subpar credit score saying, oh, well, by the time we close, we could get it up a few points. Do you want to run that gamble? I've seen lenders suggest it on my own deals. So again, everyone's time is precious. You don't have time to put your reputation or your time at risk dancing with these flimsy pre-approvals. Ask the questions, be a professional, be an advisor, and make sure you have a solid deal.
Absolutely great, Attorney Ray Cole. And I wanted to say Attorney Ray Cole because she knows and she understands. And if you remember the first slide that I brought out, the first thing I told you was about forging the relationship with the lender. There are basic questions that you can ask. If you need detailed questions, just like you said, and I gave the gentleman the answer there, ask the buyer if it's okay to speak to your lender candidly. You can definitely do that and get the answers you want. Make sure whatever you do, you get it in writing. You get it in writing because a lot of people are going to court. I sit on the grievance board, and I want to tell you, I read over 30 cases a month, and I got to tell you, it's the simplest things that are getting people in trouble. So just make sure that you get everything in writing. And the next thing you do, anytime that you are giving anyone any information about a lender, a title company, an inspector, an appraiser, always give 3 of each. Do not give 1, because if you give 1, you end up steering the person. And then they get to say, well, oh, Angelique Hibbert told me to use ABC inspection. Okay, well, was there something in it for her, or did she give you 2 others? So always give 3. You do not want to be the person that say, oh no, just use this title company. No, use these people. No, and put it in writing. Okay, if they call and ask you or suggest certain things, want to say, well, which one do you use? You know what? They all work very well. I suggest you give them a call and see which one sounds better for you, and you go from there. I'm going to bring up right now, if there are any other questions. Thank you, Attorney Ray Cole, for dropping that in. It's super important. Jeff, I see you on here. Thank you so much. I wasn't sure if I saw you earlier to say thank you for last week. That was just tremendous. And so now I want to get to this. Those of you who are with EXP, creating the EXP presentations for listings and buyers. You can also do some for rentals, but we thought that we would start out with these here. Now, I'm going to have, this will be sent out to you so you can get an idea. This is going to give you every step of the way. So the first thing you want to do is sign on to EXP. You want to sign on to Enterprise. You're going to put your username in. It is breaking it down step by step for you right here. I actually added visuals for you. So after you get to sign into Enterprise and you put in your username, Click next, and of course, you're going to put in your password. Then you're going to go to the marketing center. Then you're going to go to presentations. And then you can choose which one you want to use. As simple as that. I'm going to go to the next page. Then on the next page, it basically tells you click on the listing or buyer's presentation. It breaks down the instructions are for both presentations, for mobile and for desktop. There will be 2 options for you to select. So you can select the listing presentation or the buyer's presentation. And then 2 ways to view and edit. And this is just instructions for you. These instructions are as detailed as I could possibly get, so you do not skip a set, skip any steps. And remember, this will be sent out to you. Additional tabs, there'll be additional tabs to add for your name presentation. For example, luxury, modern, or traditional presentation for your listing or for your buyer. You can change all verbiage. You can make as many changes, and it is so simple to use. And then what I did here is created a presentation so you can see what it could possibly look like. So here you have your presentation. Your title goes here, and you can add a subtitle if you like. Page 2, you see my arrows are getting to know me. You can make this whole page however you like it to be. My history as a realtor in any city. You can break down some information there if you like. And these pages, you can use them any way you choose. Are you ready to buy? And it breaks down some information at the bottom and has a layout, and you can change these things as well. Your home search, you want to talk about the location, the price, the square footage, bedroom, and you can change these features as well. And remember now, you can have this and save it. So now once you have it and save it, all you have to do is update it with the person's name, and you are always ready on time. Getting the pre-approval, filling out the loan application, choosing a lender, approval documents. Making an offer, falling in love with a home, earnest money, down payment. It's all here for you. And you can choose whatever house you want to put there too. Search tools, here are the ways we find your perfect home, the MLS, automatic home search, my website, open how you can break this down any way you choose. When your offer is accepted, you're taking them through the whole entire process. Closing cost breakdown. All of the information is here for you. I like the little logo here down at the bottom too. See, Lux Living, Angelique Hibbert. You can make that whatever you choose. You can change these pictures, and they do offer pictures, but you can change them as well. Closing day, you break down some information for closing day. And then we're back to page 1. How did everybody like that?
This class was amazing. Angelique, do we have time for questions? If anybody has questions?
We have 6 minutes left for questions. I'll be more than happy to take any questions that anyone has at this time. And by the way, I got all dressed up for everybody because I'm a professional. Any questions? That means that everybody understands everything and everybody.
Question?
Okay, keyword of the day.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. My name is Marie, and I'm new at EXP. When you said the buyer agreement, are you saying we have to use EXP buyer agreement, not TREC buyer representation?
Wherever you are, no matter where you are, whatever documents that you use, where are you located, if you don't mind?
Houston, Texas.
Okay, so wherever you get your forms from, whether it's through your MLS system here in Florida, we have Form Simplicity, there's DocLoop, there's a whole different bunch of places. Wherever you get your forms from, you look for that buyer's agreement. Now, also too, you are a realtor. What is the difference between an agent and a realtor? The difference is that a realtor is with an association. Do you belong to an association?
Yes.
Okay, so if everybody can help it and not call themselves agents and call themselves realtors that belong to association, that R makes the difference. Why am I telling you that? Because you can go to your association and take a course specifically for the buyer's agreement. I'm sure majority of associations have that class, and even now more so. I would also suggest that everyone take the ABR. What is that? Accredited Buyer's Representative course. You can take that course. I can give you the information here for the Miami Association of Realtors. If you have paid your MLS fees on time, you are open to 4 designations for the year, which is totally incredible. Those designations cost $200 plus, okay? So at the end of the day, you can get that designation for about 40 bucks. And for you to go through that ABR class, now what you're doing is setting yourself aside. I can tell you right now, we have about 1.6 million realtors in the United States of America, okay? And less than 2% have the ABR. It might be 3% now, but less than 2% out of 1.6 million have that ABR. I am due to a lot of the changes in the classes that the class we had last week. I am stressing that everybody takes that ABR class, Accredited Buyer's Realtor. And it's by NAR, so you can get that class anywhere. And that form that you specifically asked about, get it out of your forms wherever you get your documents from. Check with your local associations. Remember, when you sign up with your local association, you're going to belong to 3 associations. Guys, I asked someone the other day, they had no idea. They paid $800. They think they get $800 for the MLS. No, you have associations. You belong to your local, you belong to your state, and you belong to your National Association of Realtors. You belong to 3 associations. Go on their websites, get their benefits, and use them. You can use that information for content as well. Right now, we have a lot of things going on. Get the information. Stop waiting for somebody to give it to you because it's there for free. Well, you paid for it, so use it. It's basically what I'm saying. Oh,
Thank
look,
you.
somebody just put the link here too. Who is this? That was excellent. Thank you for doing that. Any other questions? We have 2 minutes left. I hope everybody enjoyed the information given. Always remember, I'm here for all of your real estate endeavors, and I am a professional at what I do.
Angelique, there actually was one more question in here.
Okay.
And it was from, she says, I'm a new realtor. I'm now with EXP. Melissa, call me in the morning and I'll walk you through what you need to do with your renters. I'll walk you through what you need to do with your renters, Melissa. Claudiane here. Guys, y'all drop some fires for Angelique. Drop some fires for Angelique for taking the time to come out. Being a buyer's representative is so important, and knowing the steps that you need to take to make sure. Let me tell you what I hear a lot when we do this training and people start to implement. See, it's one thing for you to hear it. It's a whole nother thing for you to implement. And when you start implementing, I've heard this from Sonia, I've heard it from Angelique, I've heard it from Jeff, I've heard it from the people who produce that use this same method. Wow, I've worked with other realtors before in the past, and I haven't gotten this type of service. So guys, you have to make sure that you're implementing, not that you're just listening, that you're implementing. And if you're on our teams, don't be afraid to call us. Call me, call Angelique, call Jeff. Call until you get somebody, okay? We're here to help you. We are here to help you. We are here to make sure you thrive in today's market. It's not going to be easy. So I'm telling you right now, you got to do something different. You got to look a certain way. And I don't mean dress. I mean, you got to present a certain way. You have to understand the technique. Don't wait till you think you have it perfect. Just start. Just go. Bring your folder. Get your notepads. Okay? Make sure that when you are looking at different properties, you have make sure some agents don't like to go in order. I don't want to go 30 minutes and have to drive 30 minutes back and then drive 45 minutes. No, you can actually take the MLS and move all of your listings in the order of which they land. A lot of y'all, don't even really understand that. Bring the MLS sheet with you. Okay. Bring the buyer's tour guide with you. Okay. You can do all those things. So Angelique, I want to say thank you for coming here, always showing up, always serving. Angelique is so involved. She's between NARAB Women's Council, Miami Association, which I happen to be at today with Jeff on the panel. Just amazing guys, just dropping tools. When you can be in the space, be in the space. When you can be in the space, be in the space, guys. That's our time.
Wait, one moment, Claudienne. I just saw somebody on here that used something, that said something, if you don't mind. 1 second. Herbison, are you available? Herbison?
Yes, I'm here.
I want you to just very quickly, in just a few seconds, tell everybody what you learned and what you did with the last customer that you had. Hence, showing 20 properties or showing 3 properties, so forth. Go ahead, really quickly.
Oh yeah, I mean, with my last buyer, we definitely implemented the strategy that you mentioned during the presentation, which was simplifying, right, the criterias that the buyer qualified for. Not only I made sure that the property that the client the rooms and the things that the client needed from the house were there, but also we made sure that their price, their monthly payment was something that they were comfortable with. And the way that I was able to do that was by contacting the lender and running the numbers for each property before we go out there to show it to them. So we could have actually gone and I could have actually gone out there and shown 20 properties to them, but I only actually showed them, I believe it was about 4 or 5 properties. One of them we put an offer on, but they decided to go with another offer, and then the next one right after our offer got accepted.
So can you see that? He would have shown over 20 something properties. He was able to scale the properties down to 4. And the tune to this was basically this. He was able to use what the lender gave them because they loved all these properties, but it wasn't in their mortgage range. Even though they could afford it, he knew that they did not want to go over a certain amount. So the first property was disappointing because the pictures and the property didn't match. The second property, they put the offer in and someone outbeat them. And the third property, their offer was accepted. But he could have gone out and shown over 20 properties, but using the tools that we learned today, and he texted me, I didn't even know. I just asked and he said, I used it, it worked. It worked, Angelique, it worked. I said, well, how many properties did you show? He said like 3 or 4. There you go. Saving time. So thank you for allowing us to have that testimonial, Claudienne, and you can close out at your leisure. And thank you so much, Herbison.
Thank you.
Well, that's it, guys. Next Wednesday, same time, same place. We're going to be bringing you more training, more information. And let me just say this. If there's a particular topic you want us to train on, drop it in the chat box really quickly. If there's an item or a topic that you want us to train on, just drop it in the chat box today, right now. All right, listing presentation, Jeff. Angelique. Any others, any takers?
I think we should do some more role playing.
All right, we'll work on that. All right, guys, that's it. Let's go. Peace out.
Well, Claudienne, somebody's asking, how can they get a copy of this recording? And please make sure that
it goes out automatically every week via recording, so you'll get it in the next 48 hours, maybe tomorrow. And we go from there.
Okay, and also I will send out the attachment that I did for EXP, if they can send that out to everybody who's with EXP so they can have the directions on how to create a presentation. It takes about 10 minutes.
Everybody, whoever registered to be on this call will get an attachment of the role of the call and everything with it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Angelique.
Okay, how would I find out how to get to the next class next week? Someone sent me the link today, but I would like to get,
Realtor2s4success.com. Realtor tools for tools with an S for success.com.
Isn't it the same link every week?
Nope. Realtor tools for success.com. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.